Hi everyone, this is Abhinav from PhoneBunch and today we are unboxing the new Asus Zenfone 2 which comes with 4G LTE support, a 5.5-inch Full HD 1080p IPS display in the front, Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection, you have a 13 megapixel rear, 5 megapixel front facing camera, 3000 mAh non-removable battery over here as well, Intel Atom Z3560 quad-core processor clocked at 1.8 GHz, 64-bit support, 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of internal storage. It's available from Flipkart for Rs 14,999. So that's the new Asus Zenfone 2 right up top. Let me keep that aside. You can see right here 64-bit quad-core support. You have back-mounted buttons here as well. We'll definitely take a look at all these things. Now let's see what we have inside the box. So you have some IMEI stickers. You have your usual documentation. Now you have a wall charger right here, rated at 1.35 amps, and a micro USB to USB data syncing and charging cable. Now, sadly, there's no headset within the box. So folks, this is the new Asus Zenfone 2 with a 5.5-inch Full HD IPS display. Let me take it out of this plastic sheet and actually looks very neat. Excellent design. It's more rounded than previous Zenfone models. Sadly, the capacitive keys are still not backlit. Now let's move to the sides. You can see this very thin profile on the sides. There is nothing on the left. At the top, you have the power lock and lock button, secondary noise cancellation mic, audio jack right there as well. Moving to the right again, there's absolutely nothing, just a very thin profile, space to open the back cover. At the bottom, primary microphone, micro USB data syncing and charging port. Now talking about the design, the back has a very nice radial curve which fits in very firmly with your palms. It's about 10.9 mm thick in the middle and this phone weighs in at around 170 grams. And you can see the shimmering sort of effect, which is due to the back panel being sort of like brushed aluminum, but actually it is made out of plastic. It's not smooth, it has a texture and actually feels pretty good to hold in the hand. You have back mounted buttons, the volume rocker right there. You have a 13 megapixel camera and a dual tone LED flash so that you get better skin tones. Asus branding, Zenfone branding at the bottom as well as the loudspeaker. The back actually feels very good to hold. It fits firmly in your palm. The arch actually makes it far better to grip as well, but the sides do dig a little bit into your palms. They are quite thin. Now you do have NFC built in as well. You can see the NFC antenna on the back cover. You have two micro SIM card slots and you have a micro SD card slot which can take up to 64 gigs of storage. A 3000 mAh non-removable battery is also on the inside. Overall, very solid construction and build quality. The back cover looks really neat. It feels solid, the device does look premium, but the sides do jut a little bit into your palms, and then there's the power button at the top which seems very oddly placed. Now folks, we have started booting up the device. In the front you have your proximity light sensors, notification LED, 5 megapixel front facing camera, capacitive buttons at the bottom which don't light up along with the characteristic chin which is made out of metal. Overall very sturdy construction here. Very thin bezels at the top and bottom as well. And you have the 5.5-inch Full HD 1080p display over here, clad in Corning Gorilla Glass 3 with oleophobic coating on top. So folks, now we have booted into Zen UI running on top of Android 5.0.2 Lollipop this time around. So there are a lot of changes in the launcher, in the app drawer as well. You have smart grouping which was also introduced with the Asus Zenfone 5. You have your notification shade right up top. You can go ahead and edit these as well. You have your brightness slider up there as well. Now let's get into settings and we'll get into about. And you can see right here Android 5.0 running on the device. Now this is the 16 gig variant with 2 gigs of RAM and out of that you have 10.6 gigs available out of the box. USB OTG is also supported, so let's check that out. So I have a USB OTG pen drive right here. I have plugged that in and you can see that it has been detected. So let's jump into the file manager. And I'll play a 1080p video for you. And you can see right here, smooth playback. And this display looks truly amazing. No distortion in brightness or colors. No ghosting, no freezing, no lag, and very smooth playback. Now let's get into running information. You can see that we have more than 800 MB RAM free after the first boot. App should also be movable. We'll check that out. Now you have a 5.5-inch Full HD IPS display over here with Corning Gorilla Glass protection and very good wide viewing angles. The colors do look very vibrant over here and the touch response is excellent here as well. Now let's get into the camera. So this is the new Zen UI camera app. There are a lot of features including super resolution, low light mode, a brilliant new HDR mode is also available. Then you have a brand new manual mode where you can go ahead and control the ISO, exposure settings, white balance as well as metering. Now I'm going to take a few shots in auto mode and we'll compare these with the objects themselves. There's quite a lot of detail in these samples. Color reproductions is a bit off, but we'll definitely check the camera out in greater detail in our camera review. Now Zen UI has been vastly upgraded, but still feels relatively same as it did with the original Zenfone. And that's a real character over here. It feels easy to use and it's actually one of the best skins that you can get on Android right now. You have different icon packs, you can go in and style the theme differently as well. Overall, it's very smooth to work with. It looks beautiful and it's actually more functional as well. It adds more functionality to Android Lollipop. You have a separate app drawer right here. You can see that you have smart grouping available. You can hide apps, lock apps, uninstall apps, all directly from within the app drawer. Now this is your notification shade, quite a lot of notification toggles. You can go ahead and set the 4 default toggles which remain on top, and you can change the order of the different toggles at the bottom as well. Now you have something called Zen Motion that has been introduced. You can draw several characters on the display to open up different apps. So let's say I'll draw just C and it should open up the camera app. And you can see right there, it does work quite fine. Now the placement of the power button is really odd, especially if you're using this in one hand. So you do have double tap to wake up the device, and I actually found it more useful than trying to reach that power button up top. Now since this phone is running Android Lollipop, some features have been ported in here as well. You do have screen pinning available, so you can go ahead and set any one of the apps as the pinned app right in the front, and you won't be able to access any other apps while screen pinning is on. So you can see right here, you can't do anything. Now let's talk about the back mounted volume keys. So that's a new design decision apart from the power button up top, and this actually feels more usable. Now LG G3 actually brought this on with rear mounted buttons, so you have the power button in the middle there, but here you have the power button at the top, and that feels much less intuitive and far less ergonomic. But yes, I still find the back mounted buttons do work quite well over here, just the power button placement is a bit off. And you do have priority interruptions available here. User accounts are also available, so you can go ahead and add a different user, start up a guest account, so your app installation space is different. Now you do have a very intuitive one-handed UI mode. Just double tap on the home button, you will get into it. You can increase or decrease its size, you can move it around as well. It's very smooth to work with. Now this phone is powered by the Intel 3560 Atom processor clocked at 1.8 GHz, and it shows the performance over here. Now we already have a software update available over here. We'll check that out later on. Let's open PhoneBunch.com and we'll see how this phone performs in web browsing. So we've loaded our mobile website and scrolling is very smooth. The touch response is truly one of the best I've seen within this or even higher price points. Very smooth pinch to zoom. Text and images render very quickly over here. No issues with performance, no lag whatsoever. Now with 2 gigs of RAM, this phone is performing blazingly fast. Now I can get the new Zenfone 2 with 4 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of storage for about Rs 20,000. But I believe 4 gigs of RAM is truly overkill. 2 gigs of RAM is sufficient, and for Rs 15,000 this phone is performing blazingly fast. Now if we come to a comparison, on the right you have the older Zenfone 5, on the left you have the new Zenfone 2. Coming to specs, there's a lot of difference. The Asus Zenfone 5, the older one, uses a dual-core processor. The new one has a quad-core processor, 64-bit support, 4G LTE, 5.5-inch Full HD display compared to a 5-inch 720p display. Lots of differences over here, but I feel that the new Asus Zenfone 2 looks a lot nicer. Well folks, that was our sort of quick review, hands-on and unboxing of the new Asus Zenfone 2. It's a very beautiful device to look at. There are some impractical decisions made with the design, especially the power button at the top, but apart from that, it feels really good to hold in the hand. Yes, the sides do jut in a little bit, but it feels a very premium smartphone. Given the price of just Rs 15,000, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. We'll be definitely checking this phone out in greater detail, comparing it with the Mi 4i as well. So stay tuned to PhoneBunch.com for the latest in mobile technology. If you have any questions, just mention that in the comment section. We are always eager to reply. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.